So let's have a look into the 23rd. Yeah. Following is the trial balance of Supreme Bank Limited as on 31st of March 2017, right? So as you see, the debit balances as well as the credit balances relating to various assets, liabilities, expenses as well as the incomes have been mentioned over here. But let us have a quick look at the adjustments first. Okay, so here as you can see, in the end, it's mentioned as the directors decide to reserve 1000 more for the unexpired discount. So when we talk about the unexpired discounts here, the other name for the unexpired discounts is rebate on the bills discounted, or pre-received discount, or it is discount received in advance, right? So the directors have decided to keep 1000 more towards this rebate on the bills, and the bonus to the staff is also to be provided amounting to 42,000, and the directors decided to transfer the reserve for the buildings to the depreciation fund account as new premises have been completed. So maybe the buildings was under the construction, okay, towards which the directors have already reserved some amount out of the profits in the name of reserve for the buildings account, right? And after the completion of the buildings, now they have decided to transfer the same reserve which has been made towards a building to the depreciation, okay, fund account. Okay, so what is the actually two alternatives which are available whenever you are providing the depreciation in the profit and loss account? We normally show it onto the debit side, and the same amount of the depreciation, okay, gets deducted from the concerned asset in the balance sheet. So instead of deducting it from the balance sheet, okay, it can also be, okay, taken onto the liabilities side of the balance sheet under the provision, that is under the short term provision. So this is another alternative which is available. So here they were providing, okay, a separate depreciation fund account also. That means the fund has been, the asset has been shown at the original cost on the assets side, whereas the depreciation whatever has been provided so far has been taken on to the liabilities side. Okay, so let us see when we come to that particular items. Then out of the loans to the clients, a loan to the extent of 5,000 is considered bad. So whenever we come across the bad debts, it needs to be adjusted from advances as well as also to be taken to the profit and loss account. So the total amount of the loans which are being advanced to the customers, out of which they found 5,000 to be bad, then all other loans and debtors are considered good. So okay, then you are required to prepare the profit and loss account and the balance sheet as at 31st of March 2017 as required by the Banking Regulation Act. Okay. So here now let us start with this. I would like to make two screens now where I can share even the right. Now, as you can see from the trial balance, the first balance over here is the share capital, and it's mentioned as the authorized as well as the paid up capital of the bank. The total number of shares which are registered, which have been registered by the bank here is 10,000 shares, which is having a face value of 100 each, but out of which only 50 has been paid up by the shareholders. So therefore, while presenting the capital here, okay, so in the working notes, the share capital, that is on schedule number 1, the authorized followed by, right, the authorized as well as, followed by the paid up capital of the bank needs to be presented here. So therefore, the authorized capital of the bank here is 1,000, just underline it, and followed by the paid up capital of the bank here is 10,000 shares, which is at the rate of 50, that is 500, right? The next we have the statutory reserve. So the statutory reserve will be taken under schedule number 2, okay, on the liability side. So the existing reserve which is already made is 500. Then next here we have the fixed deposits. So fixed deposits will be taken into the schedule number 3. So as you can see here, the fixed deposits, then followed by the saving bank deposits and also the current accounts. So the saving bank deposits followed by the current accounts, both are also a part of the deposits. So show them under schedule number 3. So as you can see here in the working notes, the fixed deposits are 3,000, the saving bank deposits are 2,000, and the current accounts, okay, are 11,000. Okay, then money at call and short notice will be taken under schedule number 7. So in short, it's written as NCSN, that is 150. Then we have bills discounted and purchased, which is a part of advances, will be taken under schedule number 9 here, that is 550. Then investments at cost. So out of the investments here, as you can see, under which it's mentioned as the government and trust securities, then there is the shares, and also there is a debentures, and also the British government securities. So it is not only the investments which have been made in India, but the investments have also been made outside India. So therefore all the 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 will be taken under schedule number 8. So here as you can just follow my pointer. So here as you can see under schedule number 8, all the 4, okay, investments, that is 6,100 followed by 650 followed by 200 and followed by 600. Then we have reserve for buildings here. So the reserve for buildings, I'm just keeping it aside because there is an adjustment relating to this. So we will take it later. Then interest and discount will be taken under incomes, that is interest earned under schedule number 13. Then we have commission, brokerage and exchange under schedule number 14, having 60, okay, towards the amount. Then next, it's rent here. So if you just have a look at the given amount of the rent here is given on to the credit side. So if the rent is under the credit balance, it becomes a part of the income. So take it under other incomes, that is schedule number 14. Then we have interest on deposits. So interest on deposits under schedule number 15, that is 200. Then payment to the employees. So payment to the employees is what towards the salaries here. So therefore the amount, any amount, okay, paid to the employees will be considered as an operating expenses. So under schedule number 16, I think in continuation to this, there is a huge list of all the expenses, that is operating expenses. So let us take it at a stretch. So payment to employees followed by the postage and telegrams. Then we have rent, rates, insurance and also legal charges. Then there is an amount towards the director fees and also the auditor fees. So all these expenses will be taken under schedule number 16, that is operating expenses. Then next here we have the miscellaneous receipts. So the miscellaneous receipts will be taken under schedule number 14. Then there is a premises at cost. So I was just explaining you all in the beginning, the premises has been shown at cost, that means the asset has been shown at cost on the asset side. Therefore the amount of the depreciation, whatever has been provided so far, has been taken as a fund onto the liability side. So therefore the premises will be taken under schedule number 10, that is under the fixed assets. Then followed by we have the additions to the premises. So as it is already clearly mentioned that the premises were having, the construction of the premises has been completed. So this is the amount of the asset which has been constructed during the year. So add to the above value of the premises again under schedule number 10. That is 5,000 plus 1,000. The total amount of the premises value is 6,000 for the year. Then next we have the depreciation fund on the premises. So this is also having, okay, I mean, which is relating to the reserve for the buildings which have been provided. So let us do this at the end. Okay, so I'm not touching this right now. Keep it aside. Then we have repairs to the premises to be taken to the operating expenses. Then we have stationery, printing and advertisements again under the operating expenses. Then we have stamps in hand. So stamps in hand is also to be taken into the assets here. That is, the other assets. Then we have other expenses of the business again to be shown under, operating expenses. Then cash in hand and cash with RBI will be taken under schedule number 6 here. Then next, cash with the other banks to be taken under 7, that is schedule number 7 on the assets side. Then unclaimed dividends. So unclaimed dividends under schedule number 5. Okay, that is 12. Then unexpired discount again under schedule number 5. So the other name for this is again rebate on the bills discounted. So this is the rebate which is already, okay, adjusted into the above given income. Then loans, overdrafts and cash credits to be taken under schedule number 9. So here you can see that is 5,800, then followed by inter-office adjustment. So inter-office adjustment is also to be called as, the branch adjustments, right? So I mean, this will be always to be taken in the balance sheet, okay, based on the nature of the balance. So here, as you can see, the given balance is a debit here. So debit, then it is to be taken under schedule number 11, that is, other assets, 900. Then next we have silver. So silver becomes a part of the investments. So show it under schedule number 8 along with the other securities which is already invested. Then we have advance payment of the tax. So advance payment of the tax is taken under schedule number 11, that is, prepaid. That is nothing but, prepaid expenses, right? Then interest accrued on investments is also to be shown under schedule number 11. Then we have interim dividend on the share capital. So interim dividend on the share capital has to be shown under appropriations in the profit and loss account. So as you can see here in the P&L account, okay, so in the P&L account, that is under the appropriation, the statutory reserve fund is to be shown. I'm so sorry, it is, interim dividend which has to be shown, which is after the statutory reserve fund. Okay, that is to be provided on the current year profits. Then next we have the non-banking assets. So non-banking assets is to be taken under schedule number 11. Then borrowed from the banks is a borrowing to be shown under 4. Then bills payable under 5. Then P&L account balance to be shown under step number 3. So this is the profit which is being brought forward from the last year, right? Then we have dividend equalization fund. So the meaning of the dividend equalization fund here is what? In case of no profits in the years, okay, in the future, the organization is going to declare the dividends. I mean, to satisfy the shareholders, it has to definitely pay the dividends. So therefore, the amount of the dividends will be paid out of, such funds which have been made in the name of, dividend equalization fund. I think this you have already seen in the bonus shares, right? So this is not the dividends to be paid immediately, but this is the dividends which is to be paid in the future, okay? In case if there are no profits. Then coming to the adjustments, the directors decided to reserve 1,000 more for the unexpired discounts. As you can see that, already they have given us the unexpired discounts, okay, amounting to 25 here in the trial balance. And further, they also need to, okay, reserve more, that is 1,000, and whatever the adjustments which have been given, okay, towards which the zeros were not being omitted. So therefore, if you omit the last 3 digits, we need to consider only 1 towards the rebate on the bills. So therefore, as this is a further reserve which is still required, so this will be, having 2 effects. So the first effect of this is going to be under schedule number 13, as you can see here under 13, it has been deducted from the interest and the discount. That is 650 minus 1, 649 is the balance here. And the same amount of, this 1000 is to be added to the existing, rebate which is already there. So 25 which is already there plus 1 which is to be made further. So 25 plus 1, 26 is the total amount of the rebate on the bills discounted which is closing, under schedule number 5 in the balance sheet. The next we have bonus to the staff to be provided here, that is amounting to, the amount towards a bonus here is I think 42,000. So the 42,000 needs to be first shown in the operating expenses. So here as you can see under the operating expenses bonus 42, and because this is still not been paid here, it will be taken as a liability. So here under schedule number 5 you can see bonus 42. The next we have the directors decided to transfer reserve for the buildings to the depreciation fund account as the new premises have been completed. Now, the reserve which is already made for the buildings, it was having a credit balance, because as you can see the nature of the balance here, it was having a credit balance because the amount of the reserve for the buildings over here is 500. Just keep this in mind. The next here, when you look into the amount of the depreciation fund, the depreciation fund on the premises is also what? A credit balance. So both were on the liability side only, and reserve for buildings was under reserves and surplus, that is under schedule number 2, and the depreciation fund was under other liabilities and provisions, that is schedule number 5. Now the reserve needs to be transferred to the fund now. That means from that balance you are transferring the balance to 5. From 2 you are bringing it to 5. So this 4,000 is going to be increased by 500 more. So therefore the entry for this is going to be, we are going to cancel the reserve for the buildings credit. So to cancel that we need to debit that account, and this amount has to be transferred to the depreciation fund. So the entry for this is reserve for the buildings to depreciation fund on premises. So 500. So therefore your fund is going to increase by 500 more. So what is that you are going to do? Again, it's up to you how you are going to treat this again in the balance sheet. Both the alternatives are going to be accepted here, but only what matters is the balance sheet total may not be the same for both. In case if this is going to be treated again as a fund and to be shown under schedule number 5, we are going to take the depreciation fund on premises as 4,500 under schedule number 5. That is one alternative. The second alternative here is the same 4,500 can be deducted directly from the premises. So here as you can see from schedule number 10, premises total value, that is the opening value as well as the additions, that is together is 6,000. So from the 6,000, if you minus the depreciation to the extent which has been provided, that is 4,500, the balance of the asset here is going to be 1,500. So this is another alternative, and whatever the answer which is there at the end here is based upon this alternative only. So it is always better to follow, minus it from the asset as good as such. Then as is talking about the bad debts on the loans here. So any amount of the bad debts is always to be shown first in the provisions and contingencies. So here as you can see, we have a working note for the provisions and contingencies. So bad debts has been shown to the extent of 5. And as this is against a loan here, so the loans under schedule number 9. So the total amount of the loans which have been extended by the bank here is 5,800. So from that, if you minus 5,000 towards the bad debts, that is 5,795 is the balance of the loan, and along with the bills discounted, the total of the advances over here is 6,345. So with this we have come to an end of all the adjustments, and this is how it needs to be presented. So this is how all the schedules have been made. Schedule number 1 total is 500, 2 total is 1385, 3 total is 16,000, 4 total is 140, 5 total is 1080, then the 6 total here is 1262, 7 is 1250, 8 is 7650, 9 is 6345, then we have 10 here, 10 is 1500, then 11 is 1098. Okay, then we have nothing to show on the 12, that is contingent liabilities. Then we have 13, 649, 14 we have 141, then coming to 15, 200, then the total of the 16 here is 425, then after that provisions and contingencies it is 5. So if you just have a look into the P&L account here, 13 plus 14 it is 790, then 15 plus 16 plus provisions it is 630. So 790 plus 630, the current year profit is 160, and the balance which has been brought forward here is 150. So both the profits together is 310, and out of the current year profits, right, we need to transfer 25% to the statutory reserve. So on 160 at the rate of 25% is 40. Then there is also interim dividend which has been given in the trial balance, so 25 to that extent. So after making an appropriation of these two, the balance of the profit to be carried to the balance sheet is 245. So therefore, the statutory reserve amount as well as the P&L account balance left over will be taken into the schedule number 2, right? So here as you can see, under 2, the further statutory reserve made in the current year is 40, and which has been added to the above balance, that is opening balance. So 840 plus the P&L account balance after the appropriation is 245, and the dividend equalization reserve which is there in the trial balance accordingly is 300, right? Then coming to the balance sheet here, all the liabilities 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 accordingly. The total of the liabilities is 19,105, and the assets here 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and other assets 11. Okay, and the total of the assets is also 19,105. Okay, I hope you will be able to do it with the help of this. And in case if you have any doubts, you can get back to me immediately. Right, children?
Yes, ma'am.